What's up, everybody? Making a quick video here on how to solder a double nameplate. I have the background right there and the front nameplate right here, Jocelyn. Just real quick, so you guys can see, I did a video last time on cutting it, but not how I put it together, so hopefully this will help. It's going to be a rough background, so I don't have to polish it just yet. And then even if you polish silver, I mean, once you add heat to it, it tarnishes again, or loses its shine. You got to do the whole polishing process again. But right now we're gonna use a stone finish or a rough abrasive to do the top of this, which is gonna go behind the nameplate. And then on the back of this one we could do the same, or I like using a sand disc for the top part. The roughness helps for in the way that we're going to do it, the roughness helps for the solder to run and to keep both plates together. So I'm just going to use the sanding disc and go over the back of this nameplate real quick. This is the top nameplate. This is the bottom part. I'm going to use a stone finish on that so it has a nice little rough texture on it. This is the one I'm using. I don't know if you can see that. See there? So we did the top part on the background, and we did the back on the top. We roughed them up so when they connect, it'll look something like that, but with the top part shiny. So a little bit outline, but you'll see. There's a bunch of there's different ways of doing this. Everybody's taught differently. The way I was taught is to grab some metal, make little balls, almost all the same size, to put in, like I would say, each corner of the nameplate, and then one in the middle. And then you would solder this on top, and then it would have a nice little height, or it'll have a nice height. So we're just gonna cut a little bit of silver to make our little balls, and try to have the same amount with each cut so they can come out about the same height. I have this extra piece of silver that I'm using. You can use wire, or you can use whatever you have available to you. Right here I'm gonna need 6, 1 on each corner, and then 2 in the middle on the top and the bottom. So that's about 5. Try to make them all the same size. Then you need silver, solder, whatever you have. I don't know what this is actually, if it's easy, medium, hard. There are different levels, or different hardnesses of the solders of each metal, each gold, each carat, also 10K, 14, 18, 22. Always cut extra silver just in case. You don't want to stop in the middle of your work to cut more. people have been asking me about tools needed to do the job. I mean, there's different tools that would be needed to make a nameplate. I have a video on my page where it shows you how to do it without a computer. I might have to remake it though, because I don't think you can really see what I'm doing very well. But the easiest way now is with the computer, with Adobe, Photoshop. I mean, you can do anything. If you don't have a computer, I mean, you would need a slim leg divider, which is one of these, to mark your metal. You need flat metal to mark, you know, the bottom, the top. Let me see if you can see this, kind of like this one right here. I don't know if you can see that. You see those lines? I know it's a little blurry. You mark the bottom, the top, you know, the sizes of the letters that you're going to have, and you have to be skilled at drawing. Alright, so then you would need a saw frame and everything. We're going to take both of these pieces, and dip them in alcohol. This is denatured alcohol with boric acid. This is what I use. Stir that up a little bit, get it going. Now what we're gonna do is heat these up, let them burn, let the alcohol burn on them. That protects the metal from, what's it called, the red, the color that it gets corrosive, I think, or something like that. Not corrosive, but you guys know. Let me see, where is it? You guys know what I mean. Go for my little solder pick. There we go. Solder pick to get the solder. We're gonna heat up these pieces of silver that we cut, turn them into little balls. If you can notice that some of the pieces are bigger than others, and you could either take off a little bit of the big ones or add to the small ones. I think I'm just gonna add to the small ones. Try to get the sizes as close as possible on all the balls. It'll just make it easier when you go to put the top part of the nameplate on there. It'll sit level. Always be careful where you're pointing your torch also. If I keep pointing it that way, it'll might be able to reach the nameplates and it'll melt them down before I even get a chance to try to put them together. I'm kind of rushing through this because I gotta start getting ready to go. So hopefully you guys will understand what I'm trying to show you. Like I said, there are many ways to do this. There's probably a faster way or an easier way or whatever. This is the way I was taught. This is the way that I know how to do it. Look, about same size. So I'm gonna do. I have my flux in here. This is my my boric, my alcohol and boric acid mix to protect the metal. This is for the solder to run. The flux helps it run. I melted my other one that I got from Jeweler Supply. You see how it bubbles up? You gotta be careful. stuff will start rolling off, and then you gotta look for it. Alright, so we're gonna heat those up, add some solder to them. Get a little bit of our solder, put it on the little ball. There we go, 1. We can do 2. And then just kind of like you're mixing it together with as you heat it up. Put it down on it and start kind of like, you know, move the metal around. Do that to all of them. 1, 2. This helps the metal solder to the 2 pieces that we're trying to put together. Silver is very, very hard to work with. It has its method or its way of cooperating. Not like gold. Gold can be easily manipulated to work in your favor sometimes, and silver just won't. There's just certain things certain rules you have to follow to solder with silver, to work with silver. Okay, so I think we got them all. We'll just do the flux one more time. Make sure you're in a ventilated area. Give me a second, I forgot to open these windows. Alright, so now we're going to heat up the 2 pieces. Make sure that you have them facing up the way that you want the solder to go. Normally I put the little balls on the back part of the nameplate, which I would call like the shadow of the nameplate. Alright, so silver, let's heat it up. A good little flame. Not a strong flame, blue flame, but a good size flame to heat up the whole piece. Then you can start putting your little they haven't soldered. The solder hasn't run yet. They're staying in place. Trying to heat up the whole thing. You gotta try to pick your best spots for the name to be sturdiest. What I just did right there, don't do that. You could light your alcohol on fire, make a big mess, cause a big fire, so don't do that, what I just did. It's the only thing I have around liquid wise. My solder pick is getting hot. There's no excuse though, don't do that. Put the flame to the little ball, and careful, like I said, where your fire is aiming. I was just heating up that piece and not paying attention, so trying to look at the camera, make sure it's recording. Alright, so we're heating it up. Last one over here. You heat up the little piece of the little ball, pick it up, go heat up the metal, while keeping the ball basically still heated up, so it'll attach easily. There we are. They're in the spots, in the positions that they're going to be in. I'm just gonna add a little flux to each one. And make sure that the solder runs on each one of them on this piece first. Just basically going around, kind of using a sweat solder trick. Those two I heated up too hot right here. They melted down a little further than I wanted them to. So what I gotta do is add a little more silver. I'll make them even so they can be level with all these other ones, the other four. Too much heat, got a little excited there. Too much heat. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna put a little bit more silver on this thing. Those two little balls on the end. Would be best to pickle it, but like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry. I'm just trying to get this done so I can go. I don't advise you guys do what I'm doing right now, but this is just like I said, so I can hurry up and finish. Then quench it, pickle it. You see that? That's what we're gonna set the top nameplate on. This is the back part, the shadow. Like I said, always double check, make sure you have the right side up. Throw this in the pickle pot for a minute. Okay, so we're back from putting our piece in the pickle pot. Next, we're gonna grind these little balls down, trying to make them even. A little like flat top, a little flat top, so our nameplate could sit on top of there, flush, as even as possible. So we're just gonna grind them down real fast with the disc, like basically 2 at a time. I don't know if you can see me, 2 right there, you know, 2, and then turn it around, and then 2. You guys see how now there's a little flat top on there. Alright, now we're going to solder our nameplate on top. Put that in there. Protect the metal, that's what that's for. Just do this one more time. Ooh. Come on. Burn it up. These little balls already have solder on them, but just in case, we're going to put a little bit more to help out. Silver, you always have to heat up the whole piece. Then you can concentrate on one spot after it's been heated up. Not a lot, you just need a little bit of solder, just a little. Hope everybody's with me so far. I mean, we put a rough surface on each part of the nameplate, the top part for the back of the nameplate and the back part for the top of the nameplate. Not going to be shiny, it's going to be rough. So I mean, if you wanted a shiny background or whatever, then you would polish it, and the best way to keep a shiny background is by laser soldering nowadays. I just say go with the rough background for now. Don't get yourself in trouble trying to get a shiny background. It's just a longer process. Right now we don't have time for it. This design looks good. Also, I mean, nothing wrong with it. Just a little faster way of doing it for me today. Solder is attracted towards the heat. Wherever the heat, it's hotter. That's where the solder is going to run. So basically, we got to make our top plate hotter than the bottom plate, so the solder can run up. Right? Make sense? I'm gonna add a little flux to the back of the top nameplate just to help out. Oops. Metal gets soft when you heat it up, so try to get it from a spot that's not gonna bend very easily. Heat up the bottom. Line your name up while it's still hot. Look at it. Once you line it up, if there's certain parts that are touching on the little balls that you put on there to divide the two surfaces or the two pieces, I'll start with those. Don't try to go pressing down on the other ones that are a little bit higher. So just start with those. In this case, they're on this side over here, so. And heat up the bottom plate a little bit again from the bottom without trying to move it the top without moving the top piece. I'm using this honeycomb platform. Heat it up a little bit. Now we're gonna work on the top. I'm gonna concentrate a little bit more on the ball since it's all, the whole piece is heated up. Heat it up a little bit more. I want to sit down on there good. You want to try to do a good job of hiding the balls. I didn't do that right here, but there's always tricks to go back and fix it. You guys try to hide the balls as best you can from the beginning, so you don't have to go back and try to hide them after you're done soldering the two pieces. That way you can just move on to the next step, which is polishing and diamond cutting. I don't think I'll be able to show you guys those on this video. That'll be for another video, hopefully coming soon. This is just for this. I try to get the list of what you need to design nameplates, but I mean, it's a long list. I mean, there's certain things that, I mean, way different programs that you can use instead of Adobe Photoshop, like I mentioned earlier. A friend of mine from Brazil showed me the other day of using Microsoft Words. Basically, in a nutshell, he prints out whatever he needs to print out, image or fonts, and then he cuts them up and organizes them on paper the way that he needs them. And whether it be a nameplate, like I said, letters, or a design or a photo or whatever. There you go, guys. See that? Like I said, I'm gonna fix the balls because they're not hiding very well, but I'll get in there. Maybe just push it back in there later on. Right now, I gotta do this, and I got a pair of earrings that go with it that match. So I gotta do those too the same way I did this one. And like I said, I don't have time to show everything right now. I just wanted to do a quick video for you guys. Not even that quick. It's like 29 minutes from what I can see. Maybe I'll edit it shorter. But hopefully this helps. Next, we're just gonna drill the holes right there. You always leave the rings or where the hoops are gonna go on the back plate of the nameplate, not on the front, only on the back. I'll upload a picture or put a image of the nameplate on there later. All right, I hope this helps, guys, and you guys have a good one. I always appreciate you guys watching my videos. And any questions or comments, leave them right there. You guys have a good one.